everybody. So today we are going to start with the second lecture of heat transfer, and in this lecture we are going to derive a equation called as general heat conduction equation. Now ये जो equation है general heat conduction equation, this equation can be derived in different coordinates. Okay, so we have spherical coordinates, cylindrical coordinates, and Cartesian coordinates. So initially we are going to derive this equation in Cartesian coordinates. Okay, so whatever the coordinates we see here in the figure on the right side, they are called as Cartesian coordinates. In Cartesian coordinates, we have three different directions, that is x, y, and z direction. So here you can see we have these three different coordinates. Okay, so now this conduction, general heat conduction equation, it is based on the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Fourier's law of heat conduction. And the mathematical equation of this law is given by Q is equal to minus of K into A into dt by dx, where K is the conductivity, A is the area of cross section, and dt by dx is the temperature gradient along the heat flow. Now let us assume one control volume here. Here I have assumed a control volume of length delta x, delta y, and delta z. Now this control volume is a small element, or it is a small part of a big material. Okay, and heat comes to this phase and it leaves from this phase. You can see here. Okay, so now let us assume. Okay, so this general heat conduction, in this general heat conduction equation, let us assume that heat transferred in the direction of x, we call it as qx. Heat transfer in the direction of y, it will be qy, and along the z direction, it will be qz. Okay, so this is qx, and heat coming out from here, it will be obviously qx plus delta x. The reason is this length from here to here, this length जो है, this distance is delta x. Okay, so you have qx, and here you have qx plus delta x. Now obviously if q is the rate of heat transfer, then qx जो है, it can be written like this, minus of kx. Let us assume that kx is the thermal conductivity of this material along the direction of x. Then you have area A. Area A here, it will be this area now. Okay, this is the area. It is the cross-sectional area through which the heat is being transferred. So obviously this area, it will be, this is delta y into this is delta z. So this area will be equal to delta y into delta z into temperature drop along this direction. It is dt by dx. So I am writing here it as dt by dx. So this is the heat transfer rate along the direction of the x at this phase. Okay. Now let us call now let us further assume that this is the rate of heat transfer. That means heat transfer in 1 second. Okay, per unit time. So if we want to find out heat transfer in a particular time duration, then you will have to multiply this whole term by time delta tau, and then this qx will be converted into energy. Okay, right now the units of this qx, they are watts, isn't it? So q is the rate of heat transfer. If I multiply this by delta tau, then this qx, now it is not the rate of heat transfer, but it is the energy, okay, which is transferred in time delta tau. Now similarly, once you know this value of qx, you can find out qx plus delta x also. For this qx plus delta x, we will have to make use of Taylor's expansion, which is given by this formula. This will be qx plus d by dx of qx into delta x, isn't it? So this is the formula for Taylor's expansion, you will have other terms also, but we'll be ignoring these higher order terms because they have a very small value. Okay. So ignoring these higher order terms, qx plus delta x will be equal to qx plus d by dx of qx into delta x. Actually, d by dx, it should be written as dava by dava x. The reason is we have heat transfer in three different directions. Okay. Now, because of this heat transfer in along the direction of x, there will be some accumulation of heat in this element, and that accumulation of heat will be given by qx minus qx plus delta x, and that will be equal to this qx. This qx I have written as it is, minus of qx plus delta x is nothing but qx plus dava by dava x of qx into delta x. Okay, this I have written equation here. So this qx and this qx, they will cancel each other. So what remains is only this term with minus sign. So this will be equal to minus of dava x by dava x of qx into delta x. So this will be equal to minus of dava by dava x into bracket, you have qx delta x. Now this qx is, again we have this minus of kx. So this minus minus sign, they will cancel each other, and you will finally get this as dava by dava x of kx delta y delta z. Okay, this I have written this into, you have dava t by dava x into delta tau. So this will be equal to dava by, I am writing, rearranging the terms here, dava by dava x, it kx is the constant term which is not a function of x, so I can take kx outside this derivative part, and you will get dava by dava x of dava t by dava x into, you will have delta y delta z into delta tau, delta y delta z delta tau into, again you have this delta x term here. Okay, this delta x term here, it should have come here. So here again you will have delta x of. Okay, so let us call this as equation number 1. This equation 1 is heat accumulation, heat accumulated in the element. Okay, because of heat flow in the direction of x. Similarly, there is heat transfer in the direction of y, and there is heat transfer in the direction of z also. So with considering all these heat transfers, you will get one equation where you will have heat transfer in total heat accumulation. So therefore this total heat accumulated because of heat transfer in all the directions. Okay, that will be equal to, now this term, it is kx into dava by dava x of dava t by dava x into, you have delta x delta y delta z into delta tau, plus you will have ky into dava by dava y into dava t by dava y, you will have here, into, you have delta x delta y delta z and delta tau, plus you will have kz into bracket dava by dava z of dava t by dava z into, again, delta x delta y and delta z and delta tau. So you will see here delta x delta y delta z, these terms are common in all the terms. Okay, so I can take that as common, so I can simply write this as, and further if I assume that this material is a isotropic material, Okay, if I assume that material is isotropic. Isotropic material means the material in which the thermal conductivity is same in all the directions and it does not depend on the direction in which is being transferred. Okay, that means Kx is equal to Ky equal to Kz. Further, let us call it is some K conductivity K. Okay, so I can take all these terms as common and this I will get it as okay da by x I can write now this as da bar 2t by da by x square plus da bar 2t by da bar y square plus da bar 2t by da bar z square. I can take this as common and it will be equal to some conductivity k into delta x, delta y, delta z into delta tau. Okay, let us call this as some equation 2. Now, this is what is the heat accumulated inside this element because of heat transfer in all the directions. Now, let us assume that there is some heat generated within the element also. Okay, so heat because there are some materials, some heavy, high atomic number materials which have the capability of heat generation also, or sometimes there is some heater is there in some applications or some electricity is flowing through some metal rod and all that. In such kind of applications, some heat is generated within the element also. So in this volume, okay, some heat will be generated. So we'll have to consider that heat also. Okay. So heat heat generated in control volume. Okay, control volume that will be equal to rate of heat generation per unit time Qg, we denote it as Qg, into the volume of the element into the time during which that heat is generated, isn't it? Okay, so this will be equal to Qg into the volume is delta x, delta y into delta z into the time is delta tau, isn't it? Let us call this as equation 2. Now here this Qg is what? It is Qg is nothing but the rate of heat generation. Okay, rate of heat generation per unit time. Okay, so the units will be joules per meter cube per unit time, joules per meter cube second like that. Okay, now whatever this heat is being generated and whatever this heat is being accumulated, okay, they actually result. Okay, let us call this as equation 3. This results into the increase of internal energy of this element, isn't it? Whatever the heat transfer is there in x, y, z direction, because of that there is heat accumulates in this element. If there is heat generation, then that heat generated and this heat accumulated, they are actually responsible for increasing the internal energy of this element. Okay. Now, how to determine that increase in the internal energy? Okay, so that will depend on the increase of temperature of that element in some time t, isn't it? So let us write that equation also here. So internal energy increase. Okay, that will be equal to now mass of that element into Cp of that material into temperature rise, isn't it? Now, how to determine the temperature rise? Temperature rise is nothing but rate of rise of temperature, rate of rise of temperature into the time during which this temperature rise is there or time during which this heat transfer is there. Okay, into time during which heat transfer is there. And that time we have already considered it as delta tau, isn't it? Delta tau is the time during which that heat transfer is there. So this will be equal to now mass is nothing but density of that material, isn't it? Density we consider it as rho into volume of that material, a controlled element It is delta x delta y into delta z. This is the mass into Cp of that element into rate of rise of temperature. Let us call it as delta T by delta dava T by dava tau. This is the rate of rise of temperature into the time during which heat transfer takes place. It is dava tau. Okay. So I rearranging this, I can write it as Cp, this is rho into Cp into dava T by dava tau into, I can write this as delta x, delta y, delta z into dava tau into delta tau. This is delta tau actually. Okay, it is delta tau. Okay, let us call this as equation 4. Now we have all these equations here, and I can equate these equations now. So heat accumulated because of heat transfer is given by equation 2. Heat generation is given by equation 3, and increasing internal equation energy is given by equation 4. So I can equate this in this like this: equation 2 plus equation 3, that will be equal to equation 4. Now in all these equations you can see this delta x, delta y, delta z and this delta tau, these are all common terms. So I can cancel these common terms also. So what I get finally here is I will get this term here into k will be there, plus I will get this qg, and on the right side I will get this term. So okay, so it will be something like this now. It will be equation 2 I am writing down here, dava 2t by dava x square plus dava 2t by dava y square plus dava 2t by dava z square. Okay, into bracket you have delta x, delta y, delta z and delta tau, which is common in all the equations and which will get cancelled. We have here k here, so here you will get k, and that plus you will have this heat generation element, so it is qg here. All these terms here, they are all common, and so they will be cancelled. On the right side you will have these things here, and these terms are again common. So you have rho Cp into dava T by dava tau. Okay. Now I'm going to rearrange this equation. Okay. So dividing throughout by k, I will get this equation as dava 2t by dava x square plus dava 2t by dava y square plus dava 2t by dava z square. k divide करने के बाद this k will be cancelled, plus you will have qg by k. This will be equal to rho Cp upon k, or I can also write it as 1 upon k upon rho Cp. I will tell you the reason why I have written it like this. Into you have dava t by dava tau. Okay. Now ये जो term है, this is called as alpha. Okay. So alpha equal to you have k upon uh, rho Cp upon k. Okay. So this term is 1 upon alpha here. Okay, you get rho Cp. So this alpha जो है, it is called as thermal diffusivity. It is called as thermal diffusivity. It's a very important non-dimensional number, which is an indication of how fast the heat diffuses through the material. Okay, so you can see here it is the ratio of this conductivity, and this is rho Cp, means it is heat capacity. So if this k is more than this rho Cp, then it means that thermal conductivity is dominating over the heat capacity. That means heat transfer will be faster than heat being accumulated inside the element. Okay. So higher the value of alpha, higher will the heat diffuse through that material. Okay. So finally what you get here, it is the equation like this. It will be the above 2t by this material you will get plus qg by k equal to 1 upon alpha into dava t by dava tau. Okay. So I'm just writing that equation here finally. So you will have daba 2t by daba x square plus daba 2t by daba y square plus you have daba 2t by daba z square plus you will have qg by k equal to 1 upon alpha into daba t by daba tau. So whatever the equation we have got here, this equation is called as general heat conduction equation in three dimensions. Okay, in in Cartesian coordinates. Okay, तो ये जो भी equation है, we can further reduce this equation actually. We can further reduce this equation also. Now, how it can be reduced now? We have to make some assumptions. Okay. So, what are the different assumptions that we can make here is, now let us suppose that heat transfer is steady state. Steady state means what? Temperature does not change with the time. If temperature does not change with the time, then in that case, this term dava T by dava tau, it becomes zero. So we'll be left only with these terms. Okay. So for steady state heat transfer, okay, dava T by dava tau equal to zero. That is what is the meaning of steady state. Temperature does not change with the time. Okay, that is called as the steady state equation. Okay. So what do you get here now? So here you have dava 2t by dava x square plus dava 2t by dava y square plus you will have dava 2t by dava z square plus you will have qg by k equal to 0. Okay. ये जो particular form of equation है, this is called as the Poisson's equation. Okay. Poisson's equation. Now, there are some materials in which there is no heat generation. Heat generation is there only in case of higher atomic numbers or if some current is flowing through the material. Okay, only in special cases. Let us assume that there is no heat generation, then this Qg also will be 0 and you will be left with only these three terms now. So, for no heat generation. Okay, if there is no heat generation, then what we get is dava 2t by dava x square plus dava 2t by dava y square plus dava 2t by dava z square, and that will be equal to 0. Okay, so there is nothing on the right side also, this also terms becomes 0. This particular equation is called as the Laplace equation. It is called as the Laplace equation. Okay. Now, ये जो भी Laplace equation है, it can further be reduced actually. How to reduce that? In most of the cases, we come across applications where heat transfer is there only in one direction. That means there is no heat transfer in y direction also, there is no heat transfer in z direction also. So for heat transfer in only y direction, only in x direction. Okay. So what we will get? Dava 2t. Now dava 2t, I can write it as d2 by dx square because we have only one direction. Okay. So d2t by dx square will be equal to 0. So you can see here how the equation gets simplified by making some assumptions, simple assumptions we have made, and the equation gets simplified. Now this equation can be applied to different applications, वगैरह. Okay, so I will just show you how to make use of this equation now. Let us apply this equation to one simple example. Okay, so let us consider one plain slab is there. Okay, so I'm considering one plain slab here through which there is heat transfer. Okay, so slab will be something like this. Okay, so it will be something like this. Okay, so we're not concerned with this length and all that, okay, of these slabs. So now let us suppose on, so this slab has two faces. Now एक phase है, this is the one phase from here where the heat is coming out and heat is entering from this phase. Okay. So let us consider this as x direction. So here you have x equal to 0. Here you have x equal to some thickness. Let us assume it as L. So here you will have x equal to L. Some K is the conductivity of this slab. Let us further assume that T1 is the temperature on the left side of the slab and T2 is the temperature on the right side of the slab. Here we have temperature T2. Okay. Now T1 and T2 already we have assumed their steady state heat transfer is that there. That means T1, T2 will remain constant. They will not change with time. Okay. Now how to apply this equation? So we have d2 T by dx square. So I can integrate this equation and I will get it as dt by dx equal to some constant C1. On further integration, I will get as t equal to some C1x plus C2, isn't it? Now, what are the boundary conditions here? The boundary conditions, there are two boundary conditions we have. Okay. So, boundary conditions, the first boundary condition is at x equal to 0, temperature T equal to T1, and at x equal to L, temperature T equal to T2. Okay. So it is obvious that since this equation, differential equation is the second order, so you will have two different constants will be there, integral constants or arbitrary constants. And to get these arbitrary constants, you need at least two boundary conditions. So we have two boundary conditions here. Okay. Using these boundary conditions, I can now write this equation as, okay, substituting the first boundary condition, I will have, okay, T1 equal to C2. That will be the equation because x is equal to 0, isn't it? Now, using the second boundary condition, I will get it something like this. T2 will be equal to C1 into x के जगह पे you will have this L. Okay, plus C2 जो है, it is nothing but we have already got it as T1. Therefore, this C1 will be equal to how much? It is T2 minus T1 divided by length L. Okay, so substituting this arbitrary constant here, you will get T equal to C1 means it is T2 minus T1 divided by L. Okay, this is L into you will have X. Okay, plus and C2 equal to you will have T1. So this is called as the temperature distribution equation. Now, if you know this temperature distribution equation, you can find out the value of heat transfer rate also. Okay. So for this particular example now, let us suppose Q is the rate of heat transfer, then it will be given by Q equal to minus K into A into dt by dx. This is the formula, isn't it? So this will be equal to minus of K into area A. Let us suppose ये जो भी area है, cross sectional area, assume it as A into dt by dx. Now we have here already T is given here. So you can find out dt by dx, isn't it? So what will be dt by dx now here? Substituting these equations. Okay. So इसका derivative find out करें. Derivative of this t with respect to x. So here we have only x. So this term will remain. Derivative of t1, which is constant, it will be 0. So here you will get t2 minus t1 divided by length L. Okay. So I can write this as if I take this minus sign inside, you will get K into A into T1 minus T2 divided by L. Okay. So I can still reorganize this and it can be written as T1 minus T2 divided by this. I can write it as L upon KA. Okay. Now there is some particular reason why I've written it like this. Okay. Now ये जो भी equation है, isn't it? This equation, if I compare with your electrical technology equation, then Q resembles to the current T1 minus T2 resembles to the potential, and this denominator obviously will be the resistance. Okay, so in this equation, this Q is analogous to the current I, T1 minus T2, which is called as the thermal potential, will be analogous to the electrical potential volts. And obviously this term L upon Ka, which is called as thermal resistance, is analogous to the resistance R. Okay, and this is called as the thermal resistance. So I can draw here symbolic form also. So you will have this resistance here and current here you will have. Okay, so this is Q is the current flowing through this resistance R. Okay, and across the potential T1 and T2. So here you have temperature T1 and here you have temperature T2. So this is called as the electrical analogy. Okay, so this is again one new concept which I learned here. So what is that concept? It is the electrical analogy. Okay, so that electrical analogy जो है it is given by, okay, this is very important now, electrical analogy. So Q is given by, always it will be thermal potential divided by thermal resistance. Okay, divided by thermal resistance. Thermal potential is always the temperature difference. Higher temperature minus the lower temperature divided by the resistance is given by L upon Ka. Okay, so this is called as the electrical analogy. Now in electrical analogy, in electrical technology, you have learned that concept, parallel resistance and resistance is in series. So here also it can be applied here. So if you have different slabs which are attached to each other, so there are different slabs which are attached to each other. Okay, so you can have slabs down here, something like this. So these are the different slabs. Okay, so again it will be something like this. So let us assume this is slab 1, this is slab 2. Then resistance of this is, okay, first slab is R1, for second slab it is R2. Okay, call this as R1 and call this as R2. Okay, so temperature T1 will be there, some temperature T2, some temperature T3. Then this Q will be given by, okay, thermal potential is T1 minus T3. So T1 minus T3 divided by the total resistance between this. So it is R1 plus R2. Okay, because they are in series, because heat transfer is in series now. First from this first slab and then through the second slab and then to the surroundings or the third slab, whatever is there. Okay, so these are called as slabs in series. Similarly, it will be there for slabs in parallel also. Parallel means suppose you have one more slab here. Okay, instead of this two slabs, you have say one slab is common to both. Okay, it is something like this. Okay, this is the third slab. Then here you will have what? Resistance, third resistance will be included here and it will be like this. Okay. So now heat transfer in this particular case, this Q will be equal to temperature T1, okay, minus T3 divided by resistance RTH. Now this RTH will be equal to these two resistances, they are in series R1 plus R2 and this is in parallel. Let us call this as R3. Okay. So 1 upon RTH will be equal to 1 upon R3 plus 1 upon R1 plus R2. Okay. It will be like this. This is 3. Because they are in R3 R3 and these two resistances they are in say parallel, isn't it? So instead of writing them as separately, I will just write them together here. Okay. So let us write this as R12. Okay. This is how you will have to find out. Therefore, RTH will be equal to how much now? R12, sorry, R12 into R3 divided by R12 plus R3. It will be something like this, isn't it? This you have learnt in chemical, your electrical technology. That is why I'm not going much into details, but you can study this more in the references or in open source, it is available. So with this, we'll stop here. Okay, thanks for the patient listening.